everybody. It's a great day to try a new pie crust recipe. Today I'm doing one from Sardi's, that famous restaurant in New York City. I'm starting with 8 teaspoons of sugar. Any of the pie crusts I've ever done, I've never used sugar. It's basically been flour, butter, or shortening, and water. So this is new for me. I started with 8 teaspoons of sugar. I'm going to put in a half a cup of butter, and it's supposed to be soft, which is also weird because normally when I make pie crust, the butter's cold. So I'm going to dump that in there, and the directions say to just use a fork to mush it all together until it's kind of creamy. And I'm thinking that's going to take a little while because I'm doing it by hand, and it says to do it with the fork. So I'm assuming you have to do it by hand. Once we have this butter and sugar mixed together, we're going to add 2/3 cup of shortening. And I bought the Crisco sticks because it's just like the butter. There's measurements. So you can just cut exactly where it says 2/3 cup. So those are great for baking. I love using any kind of already measured ingredient is wonderful. All right, well, this is actually coming along quicker than I thought. I guess that's what happens when the butter's soft. All right, and again, good workout for your arms. I really have to try to be ambidextrous so that my left arm gets as strong as my right arm. Okay, this is good. Here it is. Now I'm going to add the 2/3 cup of the shortening. Good. And mix that into that butter sugar mixture. Once I have this combined, I'm going to add my flour and salt mixture. The flour was 3 1/3 cup of flour and 1.5 teaspoons of salt. So I already mixed that together. All right, this is looking good. It's a nice pale yellow color, and it looks like a color that I would paint a room in. All right, I'm ready to mix the flour in. So I'm just gonna dump it all in there. Once we get this mixed together, we're going to add 1/3 cup of cold water. And I have the water sitting here with ice cubes in it so that it's definitely cold. We just have to measure out 1/3 cup. Then we'll mix that in with the flour, butter, shortening, sugar mixture. Make it into a dough. We'll split it into 2 discs. And then we'll do a floured surface and roll one because I'm going to actually use one tonight. Oh yeah, this is mixing up nice. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add the ice cold water. So I have my 1/3 cup here. I don't want the ice cubes. Maybe I should just take those out. There we go, because it won't fail that every time I try to scoop it in, the ice cube is going to fall in. Okay, there's my 1/3 cup water, cold water, and I'm going to mix that up. This is when I always would like one of my daughters to be here helping me, because then they could take over when my arm gets tired. Or they can start it and I can take over when their arm gets tired, though theirs wouldn't get tired. Okay. I'm going to take the rest of this and just get it mixed in with my hands. Yeah, there's just something about dough that I love playing in it. I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, I loved Play-Doh, any kind of clay, and not even to like make anything out of it, just to mush it. I know it's kind of weird. Now I play with dough and dirt. Nothing like getting your hands in the dirt when you're gardening, unless there's a snake nearby. And I love the snakes because they eat the bugs that eat the vegetables, but I don't like when they scare you. So if I see it, I'm okay. If I don't see it and it scares me, I'm not so great about that. So we had this, one of our dogs, oh my gosh, she was the sweetest thing. She was a Sheltie. And whenever I would go out to the garden, all my animals go with me, and she would find a snake every time. And I would know because she would just sit there and at some point just lay down. Then she'd get back up, but she would stand in this one spot where she knew the snake was. And then all of a sudden she would jump at it. And I'd look over and she'd have it in her mouth, and she knew exactly how to kill the snake. Like that, you have to snap the neck or something. And she would snap it. And then she would look at me and she literally would throw the snake at me. And I always felt like it was one of those movies where all of a sudden it goes to slow motion. And I was like watching every time I'd watch that snake come flying at me. Of course, I would run or jump away because I don't like snakes. But she was funny that way. Okay, this looks pretty good. So I'm going to split it. I'm just going to leave the one half there. And the other half, I'm going to make into a ball. I'm going to put flour on our, oops, that didn't work out so great. Let me do that again. Maybe I didn't mix it enough. Oh, here we go. Okay, I'm going to move that aside. Again, we're going to put some flour on here and on my hands. And I always like to start, I take the ball and I make it into a disc. For some reason, for me, it just seems like I can then roll it into like an equal, or I don't even know what the right word would be, into a circle that looks like a circle. Let me get some more flour. There we go. And I did take out my rolling pin. I love these rolling pins that don't have handles, but I also love the ones with handles if they have some emotional attachment, if I have an emotional attachment to them. Okay, so I'm just going to roll this out. Oops, I should probably put some flour on my rolling pin. All right, once I'm done rolling this out, I'm going to pop it in my pie plate. I'm actually using this to make a quiche. I'm not doing a fruit pie or anything. I'm going to use this to make a broccoli cheddar quiche. I haven't made quiche in a while. I also love quiche Lorraine, but I've got broccoli and cheddar cheese, so that's what I'm doing. It'll be a little healthier than a bacon and Swiss. Oh, and I did find this recipe today. I'm going to try. We'll do it together, don't worry. For macarons. I've always wanted to learn how to make them, and I found a recipe, so I'm going to. I also found a recipe for Polish donuts. I'm going to try those too. Listen, we're going to have a lot of fun baking together. And sometimes it won't come out so great, but that's okay. We can laugh about it. All right, I'm going to put this in a pie plate, and then I'm going to get ready to make my quiche filling and pop it in the oven. I will let you know how it comes out. All right, be shiny, friends. The quiche came out of the oven. This is what it looks like. The crust looks fabulous, and I cannot wait to try it. All right, be shiny, friends.